ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਆਗੂ ਜਗਮੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਅਤੇ ਗॉड ਜੋਨਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹਿੱਲ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰੀ ਡਰੱਗ ਅਪਰਾਧੀਕਰਨ ਬਿੱਲ ਤੇ ਚਰਚਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਫੈਡਰਲ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਓਪੀਓਡ ਸੰਕਟ ਨਾਲ ਨਜਿੱਠਣ ਲਈ ਕੁਝ ਦਵਾਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਰਾਧਿਕ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਛੋਟ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ।
That we could have saved. Today, I want to talk about our bill being put forward or to a vote, Gord's bill, which calls for three really clear things. We want to see a health-based approach instead of a criminal-based approach to people dealing with substance abuse issues. And so the first thing is we want to decriminalize the approach. It should not be that folks that are dealing with these struggles are faced with a criminal approach. Secondly, we want to make sure that we have a national strategy around safe supply. We know that we need a safe supply to respond to this serious crisis that we're up against. And finally, we also want to see expungement to help people who are struggling with the stigma and to erase some of that stigma. Really, what we're calling for is a evidence-based, health-based approach to save lives. And it is unimaginable to me that a government, that the Liberal government, can see the evidence that the current approach is not working and refuse to support our health-based approach, particularly when the Liberal government has just approved an exemption for BC. What does that say about the rest of Canada? What does that say to the thousands of families who buried their children because they were lost to a toxic supply or to an overdose situation? What does it say to the rest of Canadians, that their lives don't matter? It's shameful, frankly, to not take a national approach to a national crisis. The Prime Minister has to show leadership here. We can save lives today. The bill that we're presenting will save lives, will mean a significant difference in this fight against the toxic supply and the overdose crisis and the opioid crisis that is gripping our country. We are at a precipice today. We can make a decision to save lives for the future, or the Liberal government can continue to choose the status quo, the same approach, which will have the same result. People will lose their lives needlessly. So we again are calling out for justice, principles, and an approach to save lives, which is to implement the exact same exemption the government just did yesterday across the country. Support our bill that is fully backed by evidence. Health experts agree. This will save lives. This is a better approach. If we want to make sure that we don't lose another 27,000 or more Canadians, those lives will not be lost if we take a different approach. And that's what we're calling for today. But they can't do it in other provinces. Decriminalization is the simplest thing. It's a criminal matter, criminal code matter, which is absolutely federal. There's no justification at all. In fact, it's more complicated to have different laws in different provinces. How confusing is that? There is, in this case, there is no justification for the patchwork approach where in one province, people will be treated with a healthcare approach in BC. But if you happen to live in another province, you could be criminalized. There is absolutely no justification